Warm welcome to Djurgården, Willie.
Thank you.
Why have you signed for this beautiful club?
I think there's a number of things. Obviously I've been in Sweden now 5 months, so I've got to know the league, I've got to know the club, so I've got to know some of the personalities. And we played against Djurgården, and as much as I think it was a close game and we could have taken something from the game, as part of my analysis before the match, I was very impressed with the club, with the players, and then when I started speaking to Sean about potentially coming to the club's ambitions were really impressive, and I feel that the club's at quite an exciting stage of their journey.
How has it been working in Sweden?
It's been great. It's been great. I've loved the country. I've really enjoyed the league. The challenge of the Damallsvenskan is different to the WSL, and the culture's been really good. So I've enjoyed being in the country and being part of the league. You know, I think I knew the league quite well. I've signed a lot of players from the league in the past, and you get to know a lot of the individual players. The challenge for me was getting to know the teams. And that's been a real learning curve for me, but hopefully the previous 5 months is now got to benefit Djurgården and myself going forward.
Do you think there's a big difference between football played here in Damallsvenskan compared to in Britain?
I think more teams are a little bit direct. There is a mixture in England. I think probably 50% of the teams in Damallsvenskan play a certain type of way, which is a little bit more direct and aggressive and physical. But I think the league, because of that, is more competitive. I think in England there's potentially a little bit of arrogance that we need to play a certain way regardless of results. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that. You know, we're in a results-driven business, and I think the Damallsvenskan understands that, and some teams understand what their limitations are and play accordingly to that. So I think it makes it certainly more competitive from top to bottom.
And as a coach, is it different coaching Swedish teams compared to the teams that you've been coaching before?
No, I don't think so. I think I've brought a similar way of working from my previous clubs to here. You know, I think that way of working evolves as you become more experienced and as you learn more as a coach. But yeah, I think I've brought a lot of my principles with me, and I think as I say, that evolves, not necessarily changes from country to country, it just evolves with you as a coach and the way you see football, and also the way football changes. You know, it trends very much. You know, set pieces were deemed to be old-fashioned up until the last 2 years, and now they're back in fashion. So set pieces have become a big part of the game again, and so no, I don't think I necessarily coach any different.
What are your main principles as a coach?
We want to be aggressive in possession and out of possession. So we want to get the ball back as quickly as possible. We want to try and dominate games with the ball, but also understand that you don't necessarily need to have the ball all the time, but you certainly need to try and control the opposition and what they do with it. So that means we want to play the majority of the game in the opposition half. We want to attack, we want to be exciting. What I've found is that is a really good way of engaging with your players. Players want to play with the ball. It's a lot more fun working hard with the ball than it is working without it. So that's one thing that we want to do, and I think a big principle of mine is let the players be the decision makers. You know, I've never been, I don't think anyway, I've never been a coach that stands at the side of the park and tries to control every movement and every thought. And I think that is only a short-term fix if you work like that. So for me, it's about trying to allow the players a little bit of freedom within your structure and just try and develop really good decision makers.
What changes do you think we can see from the players when you have been the coach for like half a year?
Well, I think we'll dominate the ball. I think you'll see us hopefully win the ball higher up the pitch and be more aggressive, and probably create more goal scoring chances higher up the pitch. I would certainly like to ensure that we're creating more chances, but higher value chances as well. And I'd like to think, and I don't know if this is a change from the team last year, but I want the players to play with a smile on their face, and I want that to happen from day one, not necessarily 6 months into it. So I'm certainly not saying they didn't play with a smile on their face last year, but that's certainly one thing that I want from my team, is that players that enjoy coming into work every day and enjoy playing on a Sunday and enjoy the pressure of playing for a big club and enjoy the pressure of having high demands, but also understanding that they'll have high support.
Are you tough as a coach?
I think you're better asking my players that than me, but I think I've got standards. I think I ask a lot, I demand a lot from the players, but I also think that I'm very supportive. I want to see mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, we're not being creative enough. So I think I'm very allowable of mistakes, but I've got certain non-negotiables in terms of respect, in terms of honesty, in terms of hard work. Mistakes are allowed, bad performances are allowed. A lack of hard work is unacceptable.
What are your goals for the upcoming season as a coach and for you as a team?
Yeah, well, certainly for me, it's about continuing my involvement in the league and getting to know the teams even better. Obviously, personally, I want to get to know the players and the staff as quickly as possible and see how I can help them develop. I think as a team, we've got very good foundations to build on. Marcello done a fantastic job last year in terms of where we finished in the league. So I think that's really important to recognise that, and there is a lot of really good things that we will keep in place, but we want to obviously develop on top of that. And the one place above fourth is third, and that gets you into the Champions League, and we've got to be aiming for the top three. And that's easier said than done, because world football and women's football is getting better every year, and if you stand still, you actually move backwards. So we need to make sure that we evolve and progress. But I've come here to be successful, and I've come here to play Champions League football one day.
And you have worked a long time in football, in women's football. What have you done before, prior to coming to Linköping?
Well, I was at working back the way. I was at Leicester. I was at in the WSL. I was at Everton in the WSL. I think both times we've had a little bit of success, relative success. It's hard to win trophies with those teams, but when I took over Leicester, we were bottom of the league. We never had any points. And we turned over a record points gap to be safe. So for me, that was success. We then built on that into the second season, and we were, I think, 7th in the league when I left, and about to go into semi-final of first ever semi-final in the FA Cup. At Everton, similar story, took over bottom of the league, and within 2.5 years we'd finished top half twice and been to an FA Cup final. So again, I think that's relative success for Everton. I had 6 months at Manchester United when they were starting their women's team, and that was a really unique experience because there was no staff and no players. So to have the opportunity to build something from the ground up was, very rarely happens. So that was really exciting, working with Casey Stoney. But that was as an assistant. And one thing that I did learn there, I think I was a good assistant, but I wanted more than that. I wanted to have more pressure. I wanted to be the one where the decisions sort of lay on and take accountability for what happens, the good and the bad. So that's probably why that only lasted 5 months, was because I got an opportunity to be a head coach again. And then previous to Manchester United, I was at Bristol City, and we got relegated when I was there for the first 6 months. I went there halfway through the season. And what we did was we rebranded the club. We went very young with the players, and we went straight back up, first time of asking, and what actually happened was we became a stronger club because of that. Previous to that, I was at Hibernian in Scotland for 4.5 years, and again had relative success there. We were one of the top clubs there, and we won cups and finished in the top 3 in the league a number of times. So yeah, when I talk through it like that, I've done quite a lot. It's been quite a journey. And before that, I was in boys' academies. So I think I've had a range of different experiences, from development to the senior end of the game. I've been in the men's game, I've been in the women's game. So I think all of those things have sort of helped shape me as a coach over sort of 17, 18 years now.
What do you think are the main challenges with the women's league now for Allsvenskan for the coming years?
I think that everybody's a selling club. Even if you're at the top of Allsvenskan, you're a selling club, because we've got those giants of European football in Germany and Spain and England. So we're always looking over our shoulder for, you know, the big bad wolf that comes along and tries to steal our players. But now the game is so much better structured and planned that you know, selling players can be part of your philosophy, and I think that's a good thing. So that's certainly a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. And I think what we've got to make sure is that we continue to develop the game in Sweden, but we do it sustainably, and we don't try and achieve something that is unachievable, and that's normally throwing money at things that we've not got. So I think sustainability is a big thing, and just being properly planned. You know, I think developing players to then sell on to the bigger clubs in Europe is a positive. I'd be very disappointed if we were losing our best players to other Swedish clubs. I don't think that should happen for a club this size, but I think losing our best players, or not necessarily losing sounds negative, but selling our best players to the best clubs in Europe can be part of that strategy.
And outside football, who are you as a person?
Sometimes I ask myself that question. I have a 5-year-old son, which I'm very proud of, and when you become a father, it's life-changing, and that certainly gave me a different perspective on life. I'm a keen golfer. I don't get as much time as I would like to play it, but I do play it at every opportunity. I'm currently doing a Masters in Sport and Directorship. Not that I'm wanting Sean's job, but I'm doing a Masters in that because when I was out of work for 15 months, I just saw it as an opportunity to do something that I never dreamed I would do and study at that level. So that's been really challenging and really interesting. And you know, one thing that a lot of people probably don't know is I was an accountant for 16 years. From 16-year-old to 32-year-old, I was looking at spreadsheets every day from 9 till 5, and I started coaching when I was 28. And as soon as I started coaching, I knew that that's what I wanted to do full time. So even just becoming full time in football was a big achievement of mine. But now that you're in it and you're ambitious and you want to achieve more and more, so yeah, that's a little bit of who I am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really nice having you here.
Thanks. Looking forward to it.